Okay, you know exactly what I'm talking about, right? You pull out your phone, you tap that little icon for your bank, and you kind of hold your breath for just a second, waiting for the number to pop up. And bam, there it is, 73 bucks. Or maybe it's 200, maybe it's 50. Whatever the number is, it's small, and it just feels like it's sitting there mocking you every single time. And that's really what it feels like, isn't it? You hear all these finance gurus promising that once you've hit 10,000, the next 10 just magically appears. But get into that first 1,000, man, it feels like an impossible climb and you've got all the wrong gear. So why does it feel this way? This right here, this is what we're talking about. We'll call it the $1,000 mountain. That first struggle is this incredibly steep uphill battle. But the science actually shows that once you get to the top, saving more becomes so much easier. And it has nothing to do with you being bad with money. It's all about your biology. So the first major reason this is so hard, it's a big one. It's your own biology. The problem isn't really about your willpower. It's that your brain is running on some seriously old school software, hardwired for a world that, just doesn't exist anymore. Think about it. For hundreds of thousands of years, survival was all about what you did right now. See some berries? You eat the berries. There was no such thing as a 401k. And that wiring for instant gratification is still in all of us. So when your brain has to choose between a guaranteed, delicious $50 dinner right now versus this foggy idea of 50 grand in 40 years, well, the pull of the now is it's almost impossible to resist. And there's actually a fancy scientific name for this. It's called temporal discounting. It's the reason why a smaller reward today feels so much more valuable than a much, much bigger reward way off in the future. Your brain literally discounts the value of that future prize. So here's the thing you have to remember. When you feel that struggle, that urge to just spend it, you're not weak. You are literally in a war with hundreds of thousands of years of your own instinct. It's not a personal failing. It's a biological feature. All right, quick test. And be honest with me. Do you ever make that little grunt sound when you get up from a comfy chair? Look, if your body is already starting to do that, your money needs to start doing the heavy lifting so you don't have to. And yet we let these ancient instincts run our finances. Okay, so we're up against our ancient caveman brain. Got it. But that's not the only fight we're in. The second big obstacle is all in our heads. It's these invisible and frankly totally irrational accounting rules our minds create. To put it simply, your brain lies to you about money. This shows this really weird thing our brains do. It's a bias called the house money effect. Your brain doesn't treat all money the same. Money from your paycheck? Oh, that feels heavy, right? It's serious. You treat it carefully. But a tax refund, or, that 50 bucks your grandma gave you, your brain treats that like free casino money, which means you're way more likely to just spend it on something silly, even though, come on, a dollar is a dollar. And on top of all that, we're all walking around with these subconscious money scripts that we picked up as kids. If all you ever heard was, we can't afford that, or you saw money as this huge source of stress and arguments, your brain might secretly be trying to sabotage you because it thinks money just leads to conflict and anxiety. All right, here's a challenge for you. Do this right now. Think about the last 5 things you bought that you didn't really need. Look at the logos. Were you buying the thing itself, or were you buying the status that came with it? If you bought something to impress people you don't even like, you just paid what I call a status tax to some billionaire who, I promise, does not care about your retirement. So the big takeaway here is you've got to rewrite those mental rules. A dollar from a tax refund has the exact same power as a dollar from your paycheck. You have to start treating every single one of them like a brick you can use to build your financial future. Okay, so we've got the caveman brain and the mental money traps, but this last opponent, this one is maybe the most soul-crushing of all. Just the brutal, slow math of the whole thing. This phase is almost perfectly designed to break her spirit. Just look at this. Let's say you manage to save $100 a month, which, by the way, is a huge win for a lot of people. It still takes 10 whole months to hit that first 1,000. That's almost a year of saying no to stuff, of skipping things, and feeling like you have absolutely nothing to show for it. And this, right here, is why so many people quit. Because in the beginning, it's all you. 100% of the work is coming from you. Your money isn't really working for you yet. The interest on a few $100 is practically zero. So your brain, that ancient machine looking for a reward, it just concludes the whole thing isn't working and basically screams at you to stop. And your willpower? It's not endless. This process just drains it dry. So, how do you get through this? You have to reframe what sacrifice means. And I call this the cereal night. Instead of seeing a cheap dinner as, being deprived, you have to see it for what it actually is, a powerful, strategic move. That $100 meal out, that's a fleeting moment of pleasure, and then it's gone. But choosing to have a $2 bowl of cereal for dinner, that is not a sacrifice. That's you making a conscious choice to add a $98 brick to the foundation of your future. Okay, so we've laid out all the problems. The ancient brain, the mental traps, the slow, painful grind. Now let's put it all together. Here's your actionable blueprint to finally get over that first $1,000 amount. Here it is, just 3 simple steps. Number 1, recognize. Just knowing about this stuff, the temporal discounting, the mental accounting, that's half the battle right there. Number 2, design systems. You have to automate your savings the day you get paid. Take willpower completely out of the equation. And number 3, rewrite the script. Consciously decide to treat every single dollar the same and see sacrifice as what it really is, construction. And really, this is the ultimate takeaway. You just can't win a long-term game like this by relying on willpower. It's not going to work. It will always fail you eventually. Success comes from building smart systems that do the work for you, even when you don't feel like it. And that really gets to the heart of what we're talking about today. The biggest fight you're going to have on the road to your first grand is with the person you see in the mirror. It's a battle that happens right between your ears. So here's the thing you've got to understand. This isn't about complicated math or fancy investment strategies, not yet anyway. This is about psychology. I mean, the math to get to $1,000, that's simple. Believing that you can actually do it, well, that's the real mountain to climb. This is all about changing your own story, your identity. Before you hit that goal, the voice in your head is probably saying, I just can't save. You see yourself as someone who's just bad with money. Maybe you feel like that guy on the left, kind of slouched over, worried, with nothing but a moth flying out of his wallet. But once you cross that $1,000 line, something clicks, a switch flips. You start to see yourself as a saver, an accumulator. You become that confident person on the right, standing tall. See, this isn't just about the money. It's about changing who you fundamentally believe you are. And this steps into something really powerful in our brains called self-efficacy. That first $1,000 is cold, hard proof you can show your own brain that says, hey, saving isn't just for other people. It's something I can do. It completely rewires your thinking. Saving stops feeling like this painful sacrifice and starts feeling like a win. And that feeling, it creates a psychological domino effect. I guarantee you the person who saves their first 1,000 is way, way more likely to save their second and their third because the whole emotional game has changed. So when you boil it all down, that first grant isn't just cash in an account. It's a tool. It's the weapon you forge to finally beat back all that self-doubt that's been telling you for years that you couldn't do it. It just silences that inner critic. Getting over this first hurdle is way less about finance and way more about conquering your own feelings of inadequacy. Okay, so now that we've got that psychological piece down, let's dig into our first big idea: how to turn off that constant nagging alarm in your head. And we're going to use an analogy here that I think makes the stress of having zero savings feel incredibly real. Just think about it for a second. Imagine you're driving your car and that little orange check engine light is just blinking constantly. You have no idea if it's something huge or something tiny, but it creates this background hum of anxiety, right? That is exactly what living with no savings feels like. Every little surprise, every unexpected bill feels like it could be a total disaster. You're stuck in this state of constant low-grade stress, just like that panicked character sweating, totally overwhelmed by this giant flashing light. It's financial anxiety, plain and simple. So how do you shut that alarm off? Well, that first $1,000 is what we call a pattern interrupt. It shatters that cycle of panic. All of a sudden, a flat tire isn't a full-blown crisis that's going to send you spiraling into debt. It's just an annoyance, a nuisance you can handle. That $1,000 literally buys you peace of mind. I mean, just look at the second picture. Same person, but now they're relaxed, wearing sunglasses, because that terrifying light on the dash is just a tiny little dot. That's the power of having even a small safety net. And that's why this is so huge. Just turning down the volume on that constant check engine light in your head is an incredible victory for your mental health. You free up all this brain space that was being wasted on worry. This is not just about the numbers. It's about getting your focus back, reclaiming your well-being. The growth of your wealth is absolutely tied to the health of your mind. All right, so you've won that mental battle. You've turned off that screaming alarm in your head. So what's next? Well, in this next part, we're going to see how the math finally starts to work for you. Welcome to the momentum machine. The big idea here is simple, really. After you've done the tough psychological work, saving gets easier and easier. It is literally like rolling a snowball down a hill. At first, you're pushing and straining to get that little $1,000 snowball moving. But pretty soon, you're just jogging alongside a much bigger, self-rolling $10,000 snowball. And then eventually, you're just standing on top of this massive snowball of pure momentum. Okay, let's put some real numbers to this so it's not just an idea. Let's say you get to $10,000 saved up and invested. Even with a pretty modest 7% return, that's an extra $700 a year. That's almost $60 a month that your money is making for you. While you sleep, your money is now officially on your team, working to make more money. And this chart right here, it shows you exactly how this whole thing plays out. See, in the early years, that first bar, your savings, is doing all the heavy lifting. But as time goes on, look at that second bar, investment growth. It starts small, but then it just takes off, growing exponentially. Eventually, your money starts making more money than you're even putting in. That's when compound interest becomes your best friend. So, what you've really got to get is that all the hard work is loaded up right at the beginning. The effort it takes at the start pays off like you wouldn't believe down the road. Your job is just to fight through that initial struggle. Get the snowball moving. Once it has momentum, trust me, the laws of math and compounding will take over and do the hard part for you. All right, we've gone deep on the why. Now it's time for the how. This section is all about the practical, no-nonsense plan to get you to that first crucial milestone. This is your blueprint for the $1,000 sprint. So here it is, your 4-step plan. And the goal here is not about having superhuman willpower. Because let's be honest, that runs out. The goal is to build systems that make saving the easy default choice. We're talking the 15-second rule, automating everything, what I call the coffee audit, and treating your savings like a bill you have to pay. Let's break these down. First up, the 15-second rule. The second your paycheck hits your account, you've got 15 seconds. Move a chunk to savings immediately. Don't think, just do it. Second, automate everything. Set up automatic transfers so the money moves without you even touching it. No willpower needed. Third, the coffee audit. This is about finding that one small, sneaky spending leak. For a lot of people, it's a $5 coffee every day, which, by the way, adds up to over $1,300 a year. Your job is to find your coffee. And finally, step 4, treat savings like it's your most important bill. It's a non-negotiable payment to your future self. So look, the big takeaway here isn't about being stronger or more disciplined every single day. It's about being smarter. It's about setting up a system where the right choice is the easy choice. This blueprint is your literal how-to guide for building that system and grabbing that first sweet financial victory. And that brings us to the end. We've talked about the psychology, we've talked about momentum, and we've laid out the tactics. But now, it all boils down to a simple choice. Your choice. Right now, you are literally standing at a fork in the road. Path 1 is the easy one. It's paved with excuses. You stay in that cycle of buying what you want right now, but it leads to a future where you're always wondering, what if? Path 2 is to start today. Look, it's a brief but tough battle with yourself, I won't lie, but it leads to a future where you will be so grateful to the person you are today. You're choosing between that dark, thorny path of regret and a bright, sunny path of freedom. And this might be the most important thing to remember. Time is going to pass no matter what. 30 years from now will arrive, whether you start saving or not. The only question is, who are you going to be when it gets here? Will you be the person who high-fives your past self for making the tough choices? Or will you be the person haunted by what might have been? And I want you to remember this. That first $1,000, it is so much more than just money. It's a statement. It's the ultimate proof you give yourself that you are in control, that you've broken free from that trap of instant gratification, and that you are more than capable of building the exact future you want. So if any of this hit home, if you're just done with sleepwalking through your financial life and you're ready to start building a life with real choices, real freedom, then maybe consider subscribing. We'd love to have you. Thanks for listening.